Welcome to the SJ Child Show. This episode is sponsored by Water and Body Basics. Visit 3440 South, 5600 West, West Valley City, Utah. Mention SJ Childs today.
Welcome to the SJ Childs Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today I have a wonderful, wonderful guest, clear across the globe. She is close to Portugal. I'm going to let her tell you the name of the island that she's at. Mishka Sibert. Did I say that correctly?
Sibert, but I like how you say it. Sibert is really nice. My name.
It's so great to have you here. Like I said, I'm just honored to have you and have your time, and can't wait to get into this juicy, wonderful conversation we're going to have. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you can tell them from that beautiful place that you're at.
So currently I'm originally from Slovakia, where my whole family is from. But I moved to Azores. It's or Azores, as you call it. It's a remote, beautiful island, which is like a secret of Europe, and it's just like literally heaven on earth. If you haven't been, and if you're from America, you actually have direct flight from Boston, which is 5 hours. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of Americans come here, and because it's very like in between, kind of like, I would say in between, but like 2.5 hours from Lisbon, 5 hours from Boston. Perfect, right?
Wow.
It's in an Atlantic Ocean. It's just very, very full of rich, beautiful nature. It feels very untouched and pure and healing for the soul, especially during this time. So really highly recommend.
Yes.
I'm not paid to promote Azores.
You should be.
I should be, because I'm just a huge fan. I'm feeling very blessed and grateful that this place found me and we found each other. But yeah, you can in English it's Azores. So it's an autonomous island that belongs to Portugal. But yeah, and this is where I am right now.
I love this. And we were brought together because you also have a podcast, and we'll jump right into that. But we also have something else amazingly wonderful in common, and that is a love for autism. And all of my listeners know that I advocate and love autism and love to celebrate it in so many ways and see all of its beauty. Tell us a little bit about your autism journey and what led you to do what you're doing now.
Yeah, I can totally say that we love and advocate like completely for autism and people that are autistic. And it's just really interesting because it's a journey of acceptance, a lot of acceptance, and natural good coaching and just accepting things as they are and having a lot of conversations that are beautifully transformational. And so the journey started with my brother's diagnosis when he was 2.5 years old, and I was, I think, 12. There's 9-year difference between us. And he was diagnosed because he had a regression regression in his speech, right? He wasn't saying much words like mama. He's maybe like one of the only verbal words that is common. Like he has his own words that he says, like yo yo yo. Sometimes he used to say kogi kogi, and he just like repeats these words, but he just says them because they have meaning for him.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what they mean. And it's been a journey navigating this nonverbal communication, which is so enlightening because I learned a lot. I learned how to listen fully, like, and really tap into like the just listening and acknowledging him as a human as a whole. And so it's been like very, very beautiful journey. And even though we were taught many things that he's not able to do this and that and blah, 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 we were rebellious. My parents were very rebellious, and we were traveling. Yeah. And they were like, like your family, you're like, you have your own language, you have your own things, and you are listening to your own intuition. And when you were saying that to me, I was like, yes, because that's exactly like you're a mother, your intuition is telling, your heart is telling you something. And and as a woman and as a mother, especially, there is, deep down something in your heart, and we all should listen to that intuition and to that inner voice, because that's what's leading us to the greatness and to those solutions. And there's so much noise out there. There's so many things and so many fear-based things about not just autism, and especially like in the whole world, like about other things as well, but especially about autism. And it's just putting people in a box and classifying them as like, and this and that, and really kind of like pushing them out of the society, which was very hurtful for me and my mom. And we never wanted that to happen. Like that was the biggest, my mom's worry for years. I've been listening to this for years, that what will his future look like? We don't have many schools. We have maybe three schools in a country. Like they're growing more, but that's ridiculous for 5.5 million people living in a population and autism
Whoa.
being more and more. It's not much, right? So
No.
it's like just so, it's crazy. I know. So and there was not much help when my brother was diagnosed 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Solutions in terms of like what will happen when the adults, what will happen to adults, because now the children that are younger have more opportunities.
Yeah.
I believe in terms of like the therapies and the support and all of that than the adults. And that was the question my mom always had. And when I was traveling the world and, I'll be honest with you, like, it's like stuck in my head, this anxiety. What will happen to my brother was always in my head. And my mom asked me this question, and especially being separated from Samko's father 10 years ago. And I saw her being heartbroken and feeling like completely just like crying for a year and a half. I was trying to find help everywhere I could, like through being the support for her and I just started taking on so many responsibilities, not only for my childhood as a kind of like second parent to my brother, or like caregiver, child caregiver, which was like already too much for me. But like, I felt like I didn't have any other choice. It was just like such a big love. And my parents didn't see that I am struggling as well, right? But I just really wanted to help, really, really wanted to help, really get to know my brother. So when this happened 10 years ago, when my parents divorced, I was like, whoa, okay, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So after that time, also going to study and trying to live my own life and just going to London.
Right.
And just be like, yeah, well, I have my dreams as well. But in my dreams, I always had my brother.
Yeah.
My brother was always in my dreams. Like
that.
he was always part of that. And just like I want to, like, even like when I wrote my personal statement to get accepted in to university, like when I was applying to universities in London, I wrote that, I want to study media because I was surrounded by media. I know what power media have. And I know that it can be used for a much more powerful and inspiring way, that we can share the stories that are empowering, and we can actually speak up and use our voice really loud to make a change happen and make an impact. And I have this brother of mine that I really want to, just like he's really inspiring me to make a changes happen. So I already knew, and I was already saying and having an intention that this is what I want to do. And this is why I want to learn how to do that. And it's just been going since then, like, doing all those things and creating first collection of t-shirts from his art in 2016.
Oh, cool.
And all of that, like, this is like the start. So it's just like kind of linear, just intention was there since I was a child, and I'm just keep going and advocating for all the ways I can.
I love that. And what is your podcast? What's the name of your podcast?
It's called Happy Autism Podcast because that's our brand. It's it's called Happy Autism. It's really simple name. I feel like really, and it's exactly like it just came to my mind. At first, I was just like, we had just like Samko Sibert art or Samko Sibert. I was just like literally just like promoting my brother's art. But then I realized there's something much more and deeper and more profound to share, which is also like our sibling journey. And our
Yes.
sibling relationship
Love
is
that.
something that is so unique, and people started relating to more and more. And I felt like I need my voice to be heard also, because I really support equality in our relationship. So, and I was doing a lot of healing on my side and on our relationship.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. Because obviously, like being sibling to autistic brother who's nonverbal, comes with a lot of anxiety, a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD from the traumatic experiences. When he had meltdowns, he was like, you know, he was kind of abusive as well, and it was very, very hard. But I had such deep love for him, and I've always had, that even though I didn't know how to navigate my own emotions and how to deal with that, and there was no help, like my parents didn't take me to therapies or anything like that. Like that's like taboo, you know, like it's taboo in a country.
Oh, darn it.
It's like, yeah, so it's like taboo. So I didn't know as well, like they were not aware. So I had to take this action when I was struggling in London and burning out, and having my mental health was really bad, and I was depressed, and I had to take care of myself first.
Yeah.
And realize there's something that needs to be healed and purged. And from that point, in 2016, it's funny because I started this collection at the same time Ben Affleck happened, and at the same time I'm having depression, and I'm just like, just having a panic attacks and anxieties and burning out, and everything's happening at the same time. It's just, so that was a huge moment for me and transformational.
Yeah.
Can imagine.
You know, I was just talking to somebody today about that, about in regards to autism as well, is that some days you have to hit that rock bottom because it gives you a new perspective when you're looking up. You see it differently, and you can gain different knowledge and grasp onto different ideas and different things. So I think that's such a beautiful thing that we all do have to go through. And it's, I mean, I'm so proud of you for what you know, had to go through as a child. And, you know, I look at our family and our household. I myself am an only child of divorced parents, so that I completely get, except for I don't have siblings. But I also have 3 children and a husband. And like I was telling you, 3 out of 4 people in our household have autism. And that is something on our mind. And my son has a little sister. And I see that. I see that love, that closeness, that bond, that lifelong, I'll take care of you, you know. Get me right in the heart spot. And it just warms my heart, because I love these inspiring, I love to have interviews with siblings that are so inspiring, and they just you know, some put their lives on hold, transform their lives, and bring those, like you said, your brother was always in your dreams. And that made me feel so wonderful, because, you know, I know that that's deep down in hers as well. So, got me all crying over here. I love it. Well, I'm a softie, so it's not too hard to do.
Me too.
But I could tell.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
it's so wonderful. And, you know, like you and I, there are struggles with autism. There are challenges. It's like I said, and we, you know, it's like speaking another language. They speak their own language. They speak in riddles, and you have to become the puzzle master to understand and decode some of those coded messages sometimes. So I completely get that. And it takes a mindset, it takes a matter of perception, and it takes a patience that you can only get by walking in the shoes of that we have walked. So I think that's so incredible. Talk to me about, like, what do you guys do on your podcast? Do you interview other guests, or do you just do your own?
Yes, my podcast we launched like a month ago, and it was a long time coming. I really wanted to do it. I have some of my favorite autistics on a list that I definitely want to reach once I get there.
Yes.
Because some of them are like Kobe Bird, that is autistic actor that is on Lock and the Key Netflix show. That's my favorite show. and he's playing Rufus, and I'm just like, I just adore him. Like I just look at him like,
Yes.
wow, I sent him a message and I was like, yo. It was a few months ago before we actually even launched
Yeah.
podcast, and it was like my kind of like the bucket list. Like then I have Tal
that.
Anderson that I definitely want to talk to her, but I want to make sure that I already have episodes out and just like
Yeah.
to know the things when the right time comes. She is on Atypical.
Okay, I love that
And
show. We just
me
finished
too.
watching the last season. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I haven't even finished the last season, but I started watching it. I'm on episode, I think, 4.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how much I miss this show. Oh
I
my
love it.
God.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do too.
So she's there and she's wonderful. I love that Hollywood is hiring autistics for
Yeah.
their for playing the characters
Yeah.
that are autistic. They bring authenticity into those movies because like the thing is why also I want to interview them is, yes, we kind of like what happened is because before we even launched the collection, my friend who's a British journalist, he interviewed Ben Affleck in 2016 who was playing the accountant who was
Yes.
autistic in the movie The Accountant, and he gave him as a gift a T-shirt with from our collection I'm wearing now right now.
Yes,
But
I
he's
wanted to
got the
see that. Awesome.
yeah, he's got the black one. This is the Eco collection, so it's made from like the 100% recycled cotton, and so he's got a black T-shirt. And because I was looking at, I was literally do you know what the funny thing is? When my friend told me, first of all, I was trying to show that I'm not freaking out. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's classic. Like, of course,
Yeah,
every single day before I
Ben
launch.
Affleck.
Of course, it's Ben Affleck. Like the Batman, it's just gonna, yeah. And we have a video that on our Instagram. So if anyone wants to see my brother's reaction to Ben Affleck
Oh, I
reacting,
love that.
yeah,
Oh, I
we
love
have
that. I
this
can't
video.
wait to see that.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Definitely. Oh, I bet it is. Does he love well, first of all, he understands that he has autism, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. He's like, I think he knows that he is. It's just the thing is like I don't see, like, I would say, it's like I see him as the full human being and
Yes, of
soul.
course. Yeah.
And since I was a child, like I didn't know what autism is. Like my
Yeah.
parents were like researching and all that. I saw my brother.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I'm seeing more of him more and more. I see myself, and
Yeah.
I'm seeing him more and more, and he feels that he's seen.
Yeah.
And he feels that
I
treat him differently than other people. I treat him differently than my mom. I treat him than his teachers. And I just treat him as my brother. I'm like, yo, bro, listen. And I made him a creative director of our business.
Ooh.
Yeah. And this changed everything.
Yeah.
Because first of all, it had to be my own mindset in terms of like, first of all, I had like this, I talk about this in the first episode of our Happy Autism podcast. It's like called Why We Must Ditch Autism Pass. And autism pass is a kind of term that I found on Facebook groups when special needs siblings were saying, and I mean, the siblings of autistics, siblings were saying, yo, like my parents, they were using this autism pass and saying it's like, oh, he can't do this because he's got autism. He can be doing this and being lazy or whatever because he's got autism. And I was like, wow, that's taking a power away from the person, not giving them space to grow and showcase what they are able to do. It's like, show me what you're able to do. And I was a believer of like going beyond the limits of our minds, because also I do that a lot as like kind of like personal development for coaching and healing, all of that. So this is what I do with people, that I do with myself as well. Breaking those limits and moving beyond our fears and looking deeper into like what are the narratives in my mind and how we can change and reprogram that. So I was just like saying, mom, like he's capable of much more. Like I could see that. I knew he's going to be connected to fashion. It's funny. I was like, you're just like so gorgeous and so handsome. I'm going to be taking pictures of you all the time. Like me, like visual person.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Perfect combination. So I was taking pictures of him and doing a lot of photo shoots when he was 12 and 10. And then since forever, now he's like in the brand phase. And he's just like feeling so proud, you know, wearing his art, wearing his clothes, and just
Yeah.
like making decisions, making his own money, having 5 streams of
Wow.
income, being the boss.
What?
He's the boss.
5 streams of income? You are kidding me. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, Mishka. I'm so impressed. That's incredible. It's inspiration. It's inspirational for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
I want to show
yeah.
everyone, you know, that
Yeah.
this is possible. Like my mom, she's blown away. And obviously it connects me to that fear that she was telling me, like, what will the future look like? And since there were not many opportunities, I was like, okay, I will create an opportunity. Like I will create a job opportunity for my brother. I will make that happen. Like I know I grew up in a digital era. I had a blog when I was 12. I was like spent a lot of time with him at home. So I was working on my skills in terms of like writing, social media. When social media were born, I spent a lot of time with him. So I was doing lives on Twitter. They were called lives, what they call Twitch camps.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like funny. Yeah, before like there were like lives on Twitter. There was MySpace and all of that. You know, like
Yeah.
I was there. I was there.
Girl.
I had radio show when I was 15 on online.
Oh
So I
my
was just like doing all these things ages ago, and I was learning how to speak with the message. And I was always learning how I can like earn money smart way. So that's why I was like set up my business. I learned did coaching, and I learned a lot, invested a lot of money into learning how to do online business, and therefore how I can actually help him and give him space to show himself.
Yeah.
And also tell his story in his own way, you know, make autism visible, show on the t-shirts that this is his expression, and have his voice heard even though he's nonverbal. He's very loud in his
Love that. What kind of art is it? Painting?
Yes, this is he does abstract painting.
Okay.
So he's got a different range of doing things, and he was he started as an classes therapies like when he was 12, when he started going to new school, and I went to London. We had our own journeys.
Yeah.
And it really helped him to concentrate, to express himself. But then later on, when COVID came, and actually at the end of 2019, I saw that he was going through some emotional, you know, there was things happening with his stepdad. And I saw that he was sad and was kind of going through some emotion and pain. And I felt it from him because I'm very intuitive and highly sensitive, and I can read his energy and I can read people's energy. So I got this beautiful spiritual gift that was very activated from the young age because I wanted to find a path to communicate with him, and I wanted to know what he's feeling and how, you know, how can I help him?
Yeah.
So so I tapped into his energy, and I was like, well, I feel sadness, and I got the solution that, and I got told like, okay, from the spirit, from like the intuition, I was like, give him art, show him, like he needs to pour this into art. Like I just felt from him he wants to pour in art. So I asked him, Samko, do you want to paint? And he's like, yo, which means like very like excited. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I gave him a platform to do so, and he was looking at me for guidance. And I tell him like, no, it was my job to let go of control and to lean into trust towards him and let him guide me and lead me.
Yeah.
Not me being the leader constantly and doing everything for him like I used to.
I love that.
That was my job, to work on that side of our relationship.
Yeah.
And really let go of this control. And I was showing my mom also how to do that, because she had this thing, of course, she was like in the pattern of like taking control and doing everything herself, you know, like strong, screaming mom, like, yeah. And I showed her, let's give him space.
Yeah.
And let's listen. And he showed up, and he felt it, because it wasn't just in the words. I had to really surrender, and he felt the energy, and he was like, whoa, okay. And we worked on that for months, and it's documented in our documentary Road to Independence. In second episode, it's called Creative Freedom. And I literally told my mom, he needs to stop going to art therapy classes because his teacher is not providing the space for him. And it's taking his power away. And even though I had a conversation with her, it's still not happening. So I was like, okay, I am telling you, you need to, as a mother, stop that. He's not going there. Like I had made this decision. And she was like, yes, you're right. Okay. And my mom is great in that she listens to my opinions.
Yeah.
She's very, very, very like, she really loves fairness and equality, and that's very
Yeah.
important for her. So I really love that she's always trying to be that fair parent. Of course, nobody's perfect, but we have these honest conversations. So I told her, and he did that, and I was like, let me mentor him. And since we have this connection and I know how to read him, I was like, Samko, do this, do that. I was just like, show me, show me, show me. And when you watch that episode, like I really recommend it, you will see the transformation. Like I even have like he had the creator's block. And I was giving him space to actually tap into that. And I told him just like, I'm just releasing control. I'm just gonna wait. And then he got like idea and he started like start doing things. And now he is believing in himself.
Yes.
His self-worth increased and he's so embodied in his self and in his creative gift
I love
because
that.
I gave him the support and push.
Yes.
And he's telling me no, I don't want to hear advice. I don't want to. He's like, no, he's just very serious. He puts the boundaries in a place, which is very fascinating for me. I'm like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Push on him a little because you're the sister, of course.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Because I was like, listen, I mean, now we have business talks. Like, I'm gonna actually make this. I also want to do YouTube channel because I want to show more of like our talks. And you can see that in our episode 4 is all about how we actually run a business and how I'm asking me questions, how I'm giving place to, I'm actually asking you for consent if I can publish his photos. Which is another thing because I want to make sure that he agrees.
And he feels seen, like you said. Yeah.
And respected. So, and you can see also in that episode, like how he's walking around when he's paying with his own money. He earned the money himself.
That's amazing.
And he's paying with his own money that he earned as an artist to pay for his own supplies. And he's like walking like a boss, so empowered. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing this all for. This is why.
Exactly. Oh, that is so incredible. I'm speechless. I'm the host. I'm not supposed to be speechless. I'm supposed to have words all the time. No, I'm so overwhelmed and I'm just so happy and honored to have you I just keep thinking of, I can't wait for my daughter to listen to this episode and to learn from you and to gain some insight and some ideas of what her true path, lies ahead for her. And I know that she has that in her heart as well. So, it makes me feel so wonderful. and bravo to your wonderful mom who sounds like she just really stuck in there and did the best that she could. And I love that she listens because it's the most important part is that listening piece. Because that's where we gain that sense of trust with one another and can form that bond that then opens up to communication. Our son is verbal now, and being verbal does not mean that you can speak or say a whole sentence or anything like that. Just means that you have a little bit more capability of communicating your wants and needs. But he's 11 and he still has challenges ahead. He still struggles in those social situations. And so it's amazing to see the flexibility that we can give him and to know that the same thing, we can give him space and independence and let him, he's 11 and he loves video editing. So he's been on the computer all morning long. He creates he's a mathematician at heart. And so he creates basically math tiles, and they'll go from like 1 to a trillion or to a Googleplexian or to I can't even pronounce some of the names of the numbers that he comes up with. I mean, obviously exists, but yeah, he's outside of our realm of thinking. He exists on another plane of existence. So we realized when he was 3 he had a photographic memory, and he was so it's just been like this journey of education and high academics, and which is so exciting. And unlike Europe and other places that have university and stuff like available, like we'll have to guide and kind of carve our own way. But it'll happen. He teaches himself things every day. He teaches us. In fact, I was kind of hoping he'd come in and say hello, because geography and languages is one of his favorite things. And knowing that you're from Slovakia, I think he would just be like nuts. So maybe, maybe I'll call for him as soon as we are done here, and we can wrap it up and get him on here with us to say hello. Well, before we do go today, please tell our listeners and viewers where they can find these beautiful t-shirts and the is it Happy Autism podcast, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. You can go to happyautism.co, or you can follow us at Instagram at Happy Autism. You can just find all the links in our bio. I just put them all there. You can find everything over there at Happy Autism on Instagram in our bio, and you can see everything: our documentary, our work, Samko's art. And as I said, like Samko does even personalized art. This is a new thing. If you like, or you can like, if you're interested in actually having a personalized art that is like Samko, just like what he does, he looks at a picture of a person and he connects with the energy, and he just like transforms it into art. And it's always, we never know what comes up, but he loves doing that. It's very special.
So cool. That gave me chills. Like, I want to see some of this art. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited.
Yeah. You can see that actually how he's doing it and how he transformed into that. I really recommend you watch.
Yeah.
I mean, all 4 parts of our documentary is available on YouTube. And also it's on IGTV on our Instagram. So just go to our IGTV on Instagram and watch our documentary. The second episode, you will see the transformation from, look at what I was saying, and to like him doing that commission art, which is like the top level, and he's loving it. And he's also painting he got commissions from other artists, which is so amazing.
Wow.
Like, oh yes. I just love that
for him. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. What an honor, and such an inspiring story. Not to mention, you've lured me into this island idea, and I want to be on my way. So I'm coming sooner than later. Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Welcome.
Oh, it is such a pleasure and just an honor to meet you and have you on today. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll absolutely be in contact with one another. Okay?
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We'll talk to you soon.